Notary Public Maria is presented with a deed for a property in New York State. The circumstances are as follows. 1. The deed is written entirely in Spanish without an English translation. 2. The grantor, Carlos, appears before Maria to acknowledge the deed. 3. Maria uses the Uniform Certificate of Acknowledgement form from 309A, fills it out in English, and notarizes the document. 4. The recording officer refuses to record the deed because it is not in English. According to the New York State laws provided, which of Maria's actions comply with legal requirements? So to help us answer this question, let's have a look at each statement again, one by one, as compared to the law, and see if we can determine the correct solution. Statement 1, once again, the deed is written entirely in Spanish without an English translation. If we look at section 333 found in the Notary Public License Law booklet entitled When Conveyances of Real Property Not to be Recorded, it states here, I'm not going to read from the whole paragraph, but you can do so on your own, that the recording officer should only accept the conveyance when it's in English or if it's accompanied by a translation. So back to statement 1, because the deed was written entirely in Spanish without a translation, this was not in compliance, and we can put an X next to it. Statement 2 states, the grantor, Carlos, appears before Maria to acknowledge the deed. Well, this is certainly proper and in compliance. The grantor did have to appear before Maria as the notary public, and therefore we can put a check mark next to number 2. Statement 3, Maria uses the Uniform Certificate of Acknowledgement form from 309-A, fills it out in English, and notarizes the document. Indeed, if we look to the law, section 309-A, found in the Notary Public License Law booklet entitled Uniform Forms of Certificates of Acknowledgement or Proof within the State, it's clear that the Certificate of Acknowledgement under this act is the one that Maria should have used, and therefore she complied by doing so, and we can put a check mark next to 3. And 4 states, the recording officer refuses to record the deed because it is not in English. Now the question is asking about what Maria as notary public complied with, not the recording officer. Therefore, this is not relevant, and we can put an X through number 4. And with this in mind, let's have a look at the 4 choices now to determine the solution. Choice A states actions 1 and 2 only. This is incorrect because action 1, as I've stated already, was improper, and therefore we can strike out choice A. Choice B states actions 2 and 3 only. Well, this is the correct solution based on 2 and 3 above having check marks and 1 and 4 above not having check marks. But to be in the habit of looking at all 4 choices, let's have a look at choices C and D. Choice C states actions 1 and 3 only. This is incorrect because while 3 is correct, 1 was not in compliance, therefore we can strike out choice C. And finally, choice D states actions 2, 3, and 4 only. This is incorrect because while actions 2 and 3 were correct, action 4 was something that the recording officer did and is not relevant to Maria as the notary public, and therefore we can strike out choice D, which indeed leaves choice B, actions 2 and 3 only, as the correct solution.